Hello, my name's Six. I have a hat. Six in his hat. Apparently we've got a squeaky chair as well. And in my last video I mentioned that, in a couple of days I'll be doing a video on an old game called Jackrabbit, and it's the Christmas 95 edition, 95 standing for 1995, which is the first time I played this. Back in the day, companies who made games used to send you a CD, or in this case a floppy disk as it would have been back then, on the front of a magazine, and you had game demos. This is one of the demos, so just going to fire it up and see if this works. It's just jazz. It's already installed from last year. And this is one of the games. Oh, that's low FPS. Doesn't bode well. Seems to be struggling with fraps. I'm just going to press F9. Yeah, it's definitely fraps that is making this lag, so F9 again now. 70 FPS apparently. Let's see if it's any better actually in game. Oh dear. Oh, I've not got the right keys set up. So, why do I like this game so much? Mainly, it's the music. But I am just going to quit out. It seems to be running... Oh, I was just about to say it seems to be running a bit better. So up, down, left, right. Jump. Say how old this game is. Look at the keys. How do I change it? Ah. And fire can be control. Special. Be alt. Done. Seems to be okay when we get in games, so let's just go to there. Because I always used to when I was a kid, I'm going to put it in easy mode just for the purposes of the video. Struggle. Come on. It's like I was saying, they used to give out demos on the front of magazines. I used to install them and play them, and it was pretty good. Same with Doom 1. A very original Doom. I remember playing that on the floppy disk demo. And again, it's just it was a really good way of getting your content out there, letting people have a play. That's better. And in my opinion, it probably reduced pirating quite significantly, because if you like the game, you play the game. And you go out and buy it, whereas nowadays you can't do that. That's why Steam has started doing refunds, because a lot of games coming out are absolutely garbage, and you don't know really until you start playing them, which I don't think is the right way of doing it. But at least Steam has started doing refunds. Without that, the game industry would be at garbage, and I'm also very glad they did that with Fallout 76. I've just asked for a refund on that, because 70 quid I paid to get on the beta of that, and it's the worst game I've played in a very long time. Sorry to people who developed it, but it's not very good. So I was just saying, the music on this game, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's just really good MIDI music. Got a friend who did a lot of work with MIDI, wrote his own MIDI player, a music creation software called Midget, which actually got, quite ironically, that also got onto some demos of some floppy disk. And I had to go on his software to try and recreate some of the music from this, and it actually did, not too bad. Where's my springy booty bits? I need to jump higher. I can't remember where the springs are. But I got bored after maybe half of the first song. There we go. so it didn't turn out very well. I just had like 20 seconds of actually quite good MIDI music, and then the rest of it was absolutely garbage. But I was, again, just a lot of music-y stuff from around Christmas time, for me as a kid, was inspired by this game, sad as that may be. Just going to go back and get my little bird, because I've got the extra springy boots on now, which means I can jump slightly higher. I have to run into it? Can't remember, yeah. So this little dude follows you around and shoots stuff with, I don't know, they egg, some kind of, I'm not sure they would be eggs, but I'm not quite sure what else would come out of a bird's mouth, but he can fire for you and takes a bit of damage for you as well if he needs to. So Jackrabbit is the actual game, which I never managed to get hold of as a kid. I didn't have the money to go around buying computer games. How old was I in 95? So I was only 11 or so. It was the equivalent of Sonic the Hedgehog but for PC, and as you can see, even though I've left it in 640 just so it'll actually record on fraps, this game was just awesome. Well ahead of its time. Even on my, what did I have, an SX25 at the time. It was super smooth. I think I probably had to turn some of the settings down, but you know, low end, even at the time, gaming machine, if you can call it a gaming machine, and it ran perfectly fine. It was software rendered, so there I'm running OpenGL at the moment just so we can record on fraps. It's actually software rendering before Direct3D and OpenGL and all of that came along. So you're telling the hardware directly what to do in order to render the graphics on the screen, which is probably harder than it sounds. As somebody who's done I went to uni in 2004 onwards, and they were just starting to not bother teaching you how to do stuff like that, but it's incredibly complicated to get a game that runs on any hardware without a universal platform like DirectX or OpenGL or whatever. I was trying to think if any, I can't believe I just did that, if any decent graphics cards were around in the day. Somebody put in the comments, I imagine my friend Tom will be able to do this if he watches, what graphics cards were about at the time, because how much time have I got left? 5 minutes. Let's get up here. Because I can't remember, there was Voodoo, perhaps? Voodoo something or another, 3D. Which probably had a proprietary, you can write instructions to an instruction set type setup going on. Get across there? I can't remember. Ooh. Yes, you can jump further than I remember in this game. I have perfected these several times, and it's quite embarrassing that I keep getting hit. I know you can get your health back, but that's not the point. Perfect. It's one of those. Keep doing it. One of those games where you get points for finding hidden bits and pieces. So if you find hidden stuff, you get extra score. If you collect all the items, you get extra score. Proper game. Why am I only using the blaster? It's a good question. Always, it's the same as even modern games. You just kind of keep all your ammo, don't you? And your health potions, and never actually use them. I also forgot that you can just hold down control or your fire button on this game and shoot away. There we go. Save. Play it once a year. I'm tempted though just to buy the game and, or obviously you can't buy it anymore, but get hold of the game in full and play it from start to finish, because it's super good. It's genuinely it's challenging, it's got good music, it's got good graphical style. So yeah, even after all of that, I only got 70% of the items in the game. and it's hard. So you'll notice that I picked up an extra life earlier. That doesn't entitle you to keep anything that you've picked up. So you're effectively starting again each time you die. So on the harder levels, you know, I've got all these weapons. It says not concentrating. Got all these weapons, and you lose them. You can't carry them through when you die, which kind of makes sense. Also means staying alive is massively important. Those rapid fire things just increase my I'm holding down control and not letting go speed. Another thing to mention here is the graphics. Just look at them. It's all pixel arty, but it's brilliant. It's just really good. I'm not sure if it's nostalgia speaking or whether other people will agree. Maybe you can comment, but something very, very Christmassy about this level. Hey, bird dude. So, same as Sonic 1. When I was a kid, I must have played the Green Hill Zone about 1 billion times. On this, I also played the first few levels almost an infinite amount of times in order to get through them, because I wasn't very good. And as I've grown up, let's get those. And as I got better at the game, I suppose, I managed to get through stuff quicker. And in doing so, you spend less time on the levels, and you don't learn where the secrets are, and you don't learn where your little bird dude friends are. So you end up not knowing the maps quite as well, which, you know, I could draw the whole of the Green Hill zones in probably quite good detail just off the top of my head. They're places I know as much as places in real life. You don't just rush through them, you had to know them inside out and upside down. Which is another aspect of gaming that you tend to lose as things get easier, and as you can just save and go back to a save point, you don't need to explore quite as much. The new Doom games seem pretty good for bringing a bit of that back. I was quite impressed by that, actually. See, I've got superstars on, so everybody knows what that would sound like in other games, but in this one it doesn't make any difference at all. A nice wiggle noise, which is spraying down. You'll start to see in the later levels where I just don't know where I'm going, that I didn't spend anywhere near quite as much time on them. My parents did the exact right thing when I was growing up and gave me time limits on the computer, which is why I've also done stuff like run a marathon this year and various mud runs, and actually got out into the real world. If it wasn't for my mum, my dad and my sister, I probably would have just spent most of my time inside given a choice and wouldn't really have done much with my life. So, yeah, because these games are super addictive. Lost track of my thoughts, but yeah, super hard, no save points. Gives you a challenge, and the whole point of a challenge in a computer game is that once you complete it, you get a sense of achievement. And there are a lot of games I've played recently where you just don't have a sense of achievement at the end of it. You're just like, oh, no, that was alright. I was trying to think of a good example. So BioShock Infinite, brilliant game. You can save as you're going along, which means if you encounter something that's difficult, you just like do a quick save and start again from your save point, which is kind of cool. But you don't have to restart the level. You don't lose any items. You literally just carry on as if nothing's happened. Which means when you encounter a difficult enemy, specific, you don't have to learn anything about it. You just go back and you do your save point and you find a way to kill it, and it doesn't take much time or effort. Whereas some levels I've gone through, you know, first learning how to beat Dr. Robotnik or Bauble Man, as we used to call him, because we had Sonic all in Christmas. Learning the pattern without dying was quite difficult. And yes, there are save points in Sonic, but you lose your rings, you know. It's not just a clear-cut modern save, as it were. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate a bit here. Which I wasn't expecting. I've forgotten this bit. To switch weapons or thing. Yeah, and if you hadn't saved in Sonic, obviously you go back to the start, and then when you run out of lives, you have to restart the entire game. So, you know, Labyrinth Zone took a long time for me to get through. Because every time you die completely, you have to start this, you know, the beginning of the game once you run out of lives, which, you know, a lot of people go, well, what's the point in that? It must take ages, but you get to know the game. You get, you know, as long as the levels are designed in a I can't joke about that, in a good way, then you don't mind going over the same levels over and over again. In fact, it's quite enjoyable. Why didn't I kill it? Weird. I've got any TNT left, so TNT kills everything on the screen, and I didn't mean to press that. It's 3 seconds of playing with default keys, and I've forgotten everything I know about the game. Crap. Obviously a few glitches, like you have to ever so slightly tap forward when you're on a moving platform, but whether that's in the original game or not, I can't honestly remember. It might just be the fact it's ported onto DOSBox at the moment. That's disappointing. So, on the subject of porting and things like that, you know, even back in the day you had gaming exclusives. This, I believe, and somebody might correct me, was only available on the PC. And the Sega games were only available on the Sega, so that's nothing particularly new, but what I don't like is that cross-platform games are released only on one platform. There's no need to do it anymore. You're not writing for specific hardware, you know. You can put stuff, or you can write stuff for all platforms at the same time. Without too much effort, because of DirectX, and because, you know, the Xbox will use DirectX and the PC will use DirectX, but you still got Xbox exclusives, and it just seems a bit arsey to me, if I'm honest. It's just money grabs. I can't remember whether, I mean, obviously Nintendo and Sega hardware was similar, but I don't think you would have been able to port their games as such. You just grab Mario and shove it in the Sega compiler and come out with Mario on the PC, on the Mega Drive or whatever. Sorry, just concentrate a second. What you could do though, later, and this was a bit further down the line, and I've still got a game of two like this, is that you could... Oops. I keep doing that. Idiot. You could buy some of the Sega games later on. Stop moving. They're only meant to move when you move. You could buy some of the Sega games on PC, which is cool. So I've got Sonic and the Lion King. That's a good point, the Lion King. That came out on all platforms, didn't it? That was on PC, Sega and Nintendo, but you could also buy Sonic and stuff for the PC. So I found that quite cool when I was able to do it. Die. Concentration. I'm gonna die. Dying isn't good in this game. I have to stop talking until I get a carrot. I would not have been able to do that as a kid. Oof. All that reactions just weren't good enough. I'm so dead. This game is not particularly easy if you can't remember where you're going. I need carrot. Give me carrots. Yeah, right, relax a bit now. Yeah, so there was a Sega Mega PC which allowed you to play Sega games, but it was a cheat. What it actually did was you had a PC or a Mega Drive. You could use both at the same time. You had a switch, which is a bit of a cheat. So you could only literally do one or the other. So most games, I suppose, were exclusive back then, but it would be nice. There's a few games I want to play, but I don't want to have to buy a console. There's one where you have to kill giants. I can't remember what it's called. Leave a comment if you can remember. Something giant. Hunter. Colossus? Something. Colossus? I don't know. But it looks amazing. It looks like really good fun. But I've never been able to play it because I haven't got the console, so it would be nice. What we did to get around that when we were a bit younger was just swap consoles around, so... God. Oh, if your friend's got a Nintendo, you'd have that for a week, and they'd have your Mega Drive for a week, and you just do things like that. It seemed to work alright. People don't seem too willing to do stuff like that anymore. That's the point I was going to make, but I had to concentrate really hard. I've been so close to dying for so long, I really don't know how to talk. Item 0%, so some issues with that. Oh, and that's the end of it. My name is Six. I have a hat. I'm sixandhishat, and Fraps has just stopped working. I hope some of that recorded. Please like, share, comment, etc. all the YouTube garbage, and I'll see you next time.